Kamala Harris's extreme pro-abortion stance is morally indefensible. Wow, okay, we're going to take this chair. Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So if we're talking about the American dream that you live, why don't I have access to that? Because there's no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body, so why does mine have to be legislated? I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over everything you make, buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. When we're talking about abortion...
No, I don't. I mean, you can present it here, but in most of the content that you have, you attack my community constantly. And you don't even realize guys like me exist, who actually share a lot of similarities to you and everything, because I'm a married man of 20 years.
I
got a wife.
recognize that you exist. I disagree with your claim that you are a
male. Right, so if I was
male.
sexually assaulted, right, and I didn't have access to that abortion care, do you believe that I should have carried that child to term because I was sexually assaulted?
I mean...
No, I just want to make sure that that's what you believe. Because as a transgender man, I have seen your side of the entire political debate, never ever having the conversation of what an American freedom is. Because why am I not allowed to live my American freedom as a man? You know, I mean, you get your choice as a man to live and free and all that.
You're really moving around terminology very wildly here.
And so are you, because that's the tactics you play in your game. And you've done it the entire time. You've jumped from one subject to the next. You speak so fast, and I know how you work. So how does it feel to have it in your face?
Well, I mean...
Because I'm sick and tired of the shit that you have put against my community, especially black trans women. Because you constantly disregard all of our needs and then use us politically as a pawn when we're 1% of the population. Why not focus on the economy itself? All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people. You want to focus on a black woman when this is clearly a glass cliff situation. America's falling apart, and let's give it a woman right when it's all falling apart, when we'd had, 50 men run it and it looks like shit? Look at where we're at. Surely, where do you think that we're heading? I mean, it's so funny to watch white supremacy just fall apart the way that it is, and you ride so hard. Because guess what? In other countries around the world, women are not having children. And why is it? Because of the patriarchy and all the violence that men perpetuate, and all of this idea that abortion is somehow going to solve it all by forcing women to have abortion instead of focusing on the real problems that we're facing in our society. We're just going to completely ignore that, and we're just going to go, you know what? The line item is, let's make women have babies so that we can continue this capitalistic society that we have. Why are we doing that? What? I mean, why? Because you want to push white supremacy and because you want to make your check? It does great for you? Meanwhile, people like me have to live with the consequences of all of your rhetoric that you put on a daily basis. And including my entire community. And the intersectionalities of black women, men that experience SA, trans people, everyone that comes in. And I'm so sick of the idea that you can come in with this bravado, that you're this big guy that knows things because you can talk fast, you have statistics. But really, what does it really matter at the end of the day if you are harming the entire American... This guy's been accused of rape. Trump. In court documents, and you're backing the guy. You have children. How could you do that to your own... Don't you have a daughter? What is wrong with you, dude? I've never seen such a party just completely the American idea, what we believe in as a country, is not what you're perpetuating. It's diversity. It's giving you tired, hungry, and poor. The Google phone you have in your pocket is because of all of the diversity we've had.
Pause.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, good morning, my beauties and bees. Welcome to another installment of Live from the Hive. It is Saturday morning, October 26th, and it's 9:40 a.m. I had not planned on showing that. Total Chad destroying Ben Shapiro. That's usually something I wouldn't have on this channel. I'd more normally something that would be targeted towards the transpositions, which I'm sure you will see on the transpositions, but I digress. I had to show it here because I had to. Oh my gosh, I had to. It's just been. I've watched it like 5 times. It's so hilarious. Ben is just like dumbfounded. It's amazing. We love to see it. Well, this will be my Halloween episode. I guess my final Halloween episode. Most of the stuff I've had in the last couple of weeks has had some kind of spooky theme to it, but I didn't dress up or anything. But I will be on Embers tomorrow, and I will be dressed up. So if you want to see that, come check it out. I'm probably gonna go pretty much all out. So if you want to see that, you gotta go over to Better Than Ember, and that's tomorrow night. But as for today, we got a show ahead of us. We have, if you didn't read the description down below, because I started putting it down there so everybody knows what we're going to be talking about that day. We're going to be talking about giant bats and ancient flying machines and the lost black wolf of Florida. So if any of that interests you, stick around, because we are gonna roll right into it. As far as what the future holds, I don't know. One of these in 2 weeks is when I had planned to move on the 9th. Some obstacles have popped up in the way, but I'm still gonna keep that date. And with that date, I don't know if I will have a live episode that day. If not, I may do like road clips or something if I'm on the road. Yeah, that could be fun too. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just wanted to get you all on the same page. On the same page for that. Yeah, I'll be on Embers tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Bugbot, for. Oh, Ember and Bugbot, yeah. Bugbot listens to Ember, because they're friends. But Bugbot will also sting people, so, yeah. That'll happen occasionally. Anyway, and we're also going to be having the transpositions on Halloween this year, so that's going to be fun too. So check out the transpositions, because we will have this year's episode. The episode of October will be a Halloween episode. Sometimes Bugbot listens. If Bugbot's here, all right. Well, I think we should go ahead and just jump right into Cryptic Corner at this point. That sounds good to me. We got a pop-in crowd, and I'm sure you guys are ready to go with this giant bat thing. See what this is all about. Yeah, I will see you guys over there. See you in Cryptic Corner. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome once again to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today is our last episode of October, so we're going to wrap it up with another spooky cryptid. And in this time, it's going to be a giant bat. So, not just a giant bat, though. I should backtrack on that. A whole bunch of giant bats. Apparently, there's giant bats everywhere. Usually hugging the equator. And, there are giant bats everywhere hugging the equator. But we'll get into that as the show goes on. But we're not just talking about big old fruit bats here. We're talking giant, massive, sometimes bloodthirsty bats that descend upon on human civilization and then drink our blood, carry us off. What do they do next? It depends on the folklore, but let's dig into it. We're going to start with just a basic folklore encrypted video that just encompasses kind of the whole thing and work our way back from there. I got a little playlist. We'll see how long this takes. This one's about 9 minutes.
It's cryptid time once again, and in this video we have something that is seen in the dark. A creature that at its normal size terrifies people. This is why the Caped Crusader himself chooses the animal as his symbol. I am not afraid of bats. I have a bat that's like my roommate. Lives in one of these walls here, and sometimes it goes the wrong way and gets stuck in my room, and I have to escort it to the door. Of course, talking bats. Not your average tiny winged mammal, but giants. Massive leather-winged demons that have for eons frightened people around the world. So what could these creatures be? Where have they been seen? And what legends are told? Let's take a look.
I want a giant bat familiar, though. I think that'd be a pretty good familiar to have.
Welcome to IF, videos on cryptozoology, the paranormal, and ufology. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video again. As with most of the cryptids I look into here on the channel, they are surrounded in myth and legend. Like an onion, we have to peel back the layers to find the creatures that lay at the center of the story.
Cryptids are like onions. I hadn't heard that before. I think cryptids are more like garlic, which we could use to dispel giant bloodthirsty bats. And you can peel back the layers, and instead of just keep more and more layers underneath until you get to nothing, with garlic, there's little flavorful little pouches in there, little delicious little pouches. Yeah, that's what cryptids are, because you peel it, it stinks, but sometimes there's some delicious little truths in there that you get to dig your teeth into.
Sometimes these animals are nothing more than legend, an animal created by the minds of men.
And I did take a special steps to not include winged humanoids in this. So I specifically steered away from those because I want this to be about bats, not bat people, because we may have enough bat people sightings and stuff for that to be its own whole episode. This episode is strictly the giant bats. No gargoyles, no vampires, just giant bats. Camazotz, Ahul, those guys.
As a tool used to teach a practical or moral lesson. Other times, we find a real creature, maybe an animal that lives today, or an...
Amber, a mandrake is almost like an onion cryptid. It's the root vegetable.
Animal that has gone extinct. This is how we come to giant bats. Starting with the Mayan legend of a massive, bloodthirsty bat god, a legend which may have links to the modern day stories of winged humanoids. Let's begin by looking at the Zapotec Indians of Oaxaca, Mexico. This culture worshipped a god known as Camazotz, or literally death bat in the native Quiché Mayan language of Guatemala.
This one's awesome. Look at some of this art that this death bat deity has. Freaking so cool. I love when cultures have animal gods. I just love it so much. It's hard to explain how giddy it makes me. Because I have like a animal kaiju pantheon in my head, right? And I just add to it as I find new animal gods. And yeah, and they just they're not, I know they're not real. It's just that, like, as thought forms, as personifications of forces in the natural world and forces in my life, I can put animal deities to it. I don't like human deities, especially not patriarchal deities. No offense to anybody who's into that. It's just not for me. I do like animal deities, and Camazotz is my like dark queen or whatever, for my dark side. Anubis never felt right for me. Is my dark underworld sort of rep. Yeah, the original furries, yes. But Camazotz, now that's something I can kind of roll with.
This giant bat is written about in the Mayan book Popol Vuh. The book describes an animal that is a massive size and fuses characteristics of both man and bat. Not bat and man, we know who that is. Like many gods of old, this bat god filled the Mayan people with fear and dread. They made frequent sacrifices to Camazotz. This in the hope that they could keep the death bat from...
See, I've never seen any art that really, that I would say necessarily means that they're trying to make it half man, half bat. It seems like it's just a giant bat, and bats just have kind of humanoid bodies. Their bodies are sort of humanoid.
Paying them a visit. The giant bat was said to reside in a subterranean layer. The Mayans christening this cave Zotzilaha, or House of Bats. If you were unfortunate enough to stumble upon the cave, it was said that
we need to go look for Zotzilaha, guys. The whole hive, we can buzz in there together. There's no way giant bats will take us all, but we could tame giant bats, and then we could fly across the night sky like the witches of old.
Camazotz would chop off your head using its razor-sharp nose, and then it would feast on your blood as your corpse lay on the ground, spurting what remained.
Because they have knife-shaped vampire bats, for real. This is why they have the knife-shaped nostrils, right? That's why they call the leaf-nosed bats. The clade that vampire bats fall into is a clade of leaf-nosed bats, because they have those two daggers on the top of their nostrils. Now, those aren't actually, sharp or anything. They don't actually cut, but in folklore, of course, they can do whatever you want.
Of your blood over the cave walls, you would find yourself adding to the creature's comfort. The bat god is said to live in the blood of those that it has killed. Blood always being such an important part of Mayan stories and cultural practices. In this case, it links with legends of 4 demon animals that once destroyed mankind, Camazotz being one of these demons. But the demon bat is not all bad, as like Prometheus of Greek legend, he is said to have given humanity the knowledge of fire. At this point is when we found...
He probably gave us the knowledge of fire so that we would set campfires, and then the moths would come and it could have a concentrated food source. Think about that. Say good morning, Spooky, or I guess it's afternoon for you. If I could be anything in the world that flew, I would be a bat and come swoop after you. Well, you know what happened after dark. Yeah. A Wrinkle in Time. I haven't seen that.
First come across the theories of cryptozoologists, and they are that the bat god could perhaps be based on a real creature. Perhaps some sort of oversized prehistoric species of bat that, like many other cryptids, has managed to cling on while other species have gone extinct, and this could be what people are seeing even into modern times. There are a variety of large bat legends found all over the globe. There are many giant bat reports, such as the creature known as the Sasabonsan of Ghana in Africa, depicted in folklore as a bearded human with bat wings.
Now that looks like Gollum, right? That's just someone took Gollum from Lord of the Rings and photoshopped some wings on him and some hair. What are you selling me here? This is not a folklore depiction.
Reports of the only known body found described it as being
goodness.
far less human than the legends say. It was an animal like a huge bat with a 24-foot wingspan and a stiff black and white spot.
And to make that, to clarify, the largest, other than pterosaurs, okay, we're going to cut pterosaurs out because they get absolutely massive. The largest flying vertebrate was Argentavis, which had a 23-foot wingspan. The largest bats that we know of have a 5-foot wingspan, or about 1.75 meters for my UK folks.
Fur. It had huge teeth and heavy ridges over its eyes. Then there is the Indonesian orang bat.
Now this that they're showing on the screen, this is actually the a species from Africa, from the west coast of Africa. What do they call it? The horse-nosed bat, horseshoe-faced bat. Hold on, let me pull up the name. Hammerhead bat, is that it? Yeah, hammerhead bat. Like the hammerhead shark, but a hammerhead bat. That's what we're looking at here. And they are from Africa. They're herbivorous, of course, because all these big giant bats are herbivorous. But it's got a cool name. That's why I wanted to pull it up. I couldn't remember the first part, but the second part is awesome. It's here. Actually, let me. Oh, that's all right. I'll just read it. It's Hypsignathus monstrosus. Hypsignathus monstrosus. Yeah, I'll pull it over so you can see. That is a fun name to say. Let's say it together. Can you say Hypsignathus monstrosus? Good job. Been like a kid show. I'm Dora. I'm giving you all some Dora behavior. This playlist isn't too long. Most of the stuff's really short. But we got to get through some of the folklore stuff first because that's going to lay the groundwork.
And it's even stranger. These human bat monsters live in an extinct volcano on the island of Ceram and abduct children. But let's get back to the Mayan bat god. Evidence of the bat god being a real creature comes in the form of witness reports that over the years have described it as a giant bat-like animal, which is...
No, anecdotal evidence is the funnest kind of evidence. It's not the best evidence, but it's the most fun. Like, for real. We have the most fun with that.
Seen flying in the regions where Camazotz was historically worshipped. In 1947, a witness called J. Harrison cited several gigantic bats. This followed in the 1950s by a Brazilian couple whom encountered what they described as a humanoid bat in northern Brazil. Most recently, there was a report of a frightening encounter with a giant bat in southern Texas on the border of Mexico. The report said that the farmer had claimed to have seen...
even the fruit bats in South America are pretty small, though. There's not giant bats really in South America, not like we see in Indonesia, Australia, and Africa, right? Where you get the flying foxes and fruit bats with the 2-foot plus wingspan. Now, you're going to measure South American bat wingspan in centimeters. Even the biggest ones. Even the biggest ones that you can think of are going to be measured in centimeters or inches. If you're weird, I don't know why you'd measure an animal in inches, but I like to convert them for people if I can. But yeah, you usually don't find a bat with a wingspan. A bat in South America with a wingspan over 30 centimeters is like super rare, and that's like the largest.
Aggressive bat-like creatures with 3 toes, bold heads, and gorilla-like faces. A description that would match the legend of Camazotz. In January 16, 2004, Guadalupe, an eastern suburb of Monterrey, police officer Leonardo Samaniego Gallegos was on patrol when he says that he saw a very large black creature descend from a tree and then hover just above the ground. As the cautious officer approached this thing, he could see that it was a winged humanoid with a body that was covered with thick black fur. The cryptid was then said to have lunged at the car. It grabbed a hold of the vehicle and began to shake it. It went on to banging on the windshield. All of this as the terrified policeman radioed for backup. Panicking, the man threw the car into reverse, shooting.
It's a chupacabra! What are we dealing with here? It flew down from the tree and hovered, and then it attacked and it was covered in hair. And I believe that this report, almost identical report, came up before, and it was a bruja, and then it came up before, and it was a la lechuza, which is the owl witch, and then of course the bruja is just the Hispanic witch. So I've heard this story multiple times, identifying it as different cryptids with different sort of variable anecdotal differences, like maybe what city it was in, what rank the officer was, but generally the story is always the same.
Backwards and smashing into a tree, knocking himself clean out. When he came to, the creature had vanished. Jumping forward to 2009, when a witness from a rural area in Chihuahua, Northern Mexico, in the small town of La Junta, a young village man came across.
That's where I'm going to be living, not in Mexico, but I'm going to be living like right by the Chihuahua Desert. It's going to be like right there, and maybe I can find this goblin there, because it doesn't look like a bat. It said bats. Your list said bat gods and giant cryptid bats, and you've shown me quite a few humanoid.
Something. Mexico, in the small town of La Junta, a young village man came across something crouched down and hunched over in the middle of the remote dirt road. When the frightened man moved closer, the creature stood up to reveal a humanoid animal with expansive wings and red glowing eyes.
You said humanoid animal, but you're showing the demon dude from Jeepers Creepers, who's not an animal. He's a demon dude. He wears clothes and uses weapons and stuff.
I have seen the movie Jeepers Creepers, so at this point, I would be running for the hills. And just like me, the terrified witness did the same. Tearing away in his vehicle, he claimed that the creature chased him for a full 15 minutes before flying off into the night. A narrow escape.
Wait. Did it chase him on foot and then fly off? Or did it fly after him, chasing him, and then fly off? That's what I kind of want to know. Because if it ran after him... Oh, this is in the Chihuahua Desert. I have to think about that. Maybe some kind of species of large owl.
Reaper could have been ready to harvest his organs. Joking aside, could the demon in that movie have been based on the Mayan bat god? Such sightings have been speculated to be possible sightings of a type of ancient bat known as Desmondus dracal, or commonly known as the giant vampire bat. This bat species known from the fossils discovered in the Yucatan, Belize, northern Brazil, Venezuela, and Argentina. The current world's largest bat is the Bismarck flying fox.
Well, that's not true. It's the golden golden crowned. I'm looking it up. Yeah, the giant golden crowned flying fox is the largest bat in the world from Bat Conservation International. So the Bismarck flying fox is big, but the golden crown is bigger. I think there's a couple of them that are bigger. The Philippines has huge flying foxes. Australia does. Most of Oceania, at least close to the larger islands, have big bats like this. And Africa does. The Indian subcontinent, but they are missing from South America, and they're replaced with micro bats that got big and fill the same fruit bat niche. But that's not what I wanted to do. But this is a flying fox. here too, and it does not look like a Bismarck. It looks like that looks like a golden crown, because that's what that gold is around its neck.
An animal that never gets larger than 6 feet from wingtip to wingtip. The island of Java is not very far from the Bismarck flying fox's home of New Guinea, and it is a location that is supposed to harbour a bat with a 12-foot wingspan called the Ahul. The
There we
Ahul
go.
is another giant bat-like creature, sometimes described by witnesses as having eerie feminine features and being around 5 feet.
Feminine features on our Ahul. This doesn't look feminine in the picture, but did it have an hourglass waist, or what's going on? Oh my goodness. This one has a gorilla face. I don't know that it would have a gorilla face.
Feet tall with a very large wingspan. They are said to lurk in the darkest caves all over the world and will repeatedly swoop upon their victims with their claws and fangs. The Ahul is described as being a
That
giant
does sound like an a-hole thing to do. I'm just saying.
vampire bat. This bringing us full circle to Kamazotz, the death bat, which of course enjoys a good bloody meal.
And
What do
Kamazot is on the other side of the planet.
you think these giant bats are? Are they an as of yet discovered species of animal or a once extinct beast? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like what I do here,
Yeah, you can let me know in the comments below, but I think that it's neither of those. I don't think it's based on giant... Like, there doesn't have to actually be, a giant house cat for us to have the Yule cat folklore, right? Like, we don't actually... A giant house cat doesn't have to exist in Iceland for that to be folklore. Same difference here. A giant bat does not actually have to exist for there to be folklore about a giant bat. All you have to see is a small bat doing something cool, like grabbing a fish out of a river, or like plucking a frog from a rock, something like that, and to say, "Oh my gosh, what if there was one big enough to pluck us from our campsite?" Then you build on that. It's just the way the folklore grows.
on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can
Next. Now this one I only
Much
had
of
one.
my family, 1996.
Here we go.
The year was about 1996, fall, when I was out hunting on a close friend of mine's property. And you might not believe this, but this is my story, and I stand firm by it. What I saw and what happened. I was tracking down what I believed to be a large 5-pointer. Long story short, made my way to a large clearing, got in a stand that I had set up long before. The stars and planets were aligned perfectly, and I had the perfect shot. As I went in to make the kill shot, I looked through my scope, and just then before I pulled the trigger, I heard the loudest screech you can ever imagine. It was almost like a deep squawk, kind of like you'd expect from a bird, but it had a higher pitched frequency distortion to it, if I'm making any sense. The deer must have heard it too, because his head immediately went up and turned in the direction facing upwards towards the sky. Before I even had a second to react, this large black flying thing swooped down and literally picked up this 5-point buck.
Okay, so there are birds of prey that will target deer and other ungulates. Golden eagles, excuse me, golden eagles have a scream that you don't expect because when they show them on TV, they always play the red-tailed hawk sound. No matter what bird of prey they show on a movie or a TV show, they always play the red-tailed hawk sound. So that's what you expect. And then when you hear a golden eagle, it's actually not what your brain thinks you should be hearing when you see an eagle. And then it stoops down, right? It stoops down and yeah, like a demon is always funny. Like, you know, you know how demons do.
And carried it off into the trees, far beyond any visibility that I had at the time. What this thing was, I'm not sure.
My speculation is that the buck that he was chasing was a lot smaller than he's saying here, or than maybe he remembers. I'm not saying it couldn't have been a 5-point buck. That's usually a pretty big deer for any kind of animal to carry off. But I would not put it completely out of the question for a golden eagle to carry a even up to a yearling deer, maybe a short distance to a tree. I was not flying off with it like the Rock from Arabic mythology, but you know, maybe stooping, grabbing it, and then pulling it up to a tree to cache it. Maybe pick pieces of it off and take it back to its nest. Something like that. Maybe.
I want to say it was a large bird, but it was larger than me, and had very long dangly legs with large black talons at the end that it gripped onto this buck and picked it up. This wasn't a slow motion thing. This was a one quick swoop, fly down, grab the buck, and fly off. The entire thing maybe lasted 2 whole seconds. I got a view, but not a great one. Enough to see that this thing was pitch black, and the wings weren't like that of a bird, covered in feathers, and shaped parallel to the ground. These were almost bat-like. You could see the flesh, veins, and membranes in the skin. I don't know what it was.
In 2 seconds, you saw the flesh, veins, and membranes in the skin. So this reminds me of one of my very first episodes of Cryptic Corner, which was the Beast of Pennsylvania or whatever. It was a black vulture that with a grainy photo, and the person insisted that its wings were translucent, or that light passed through its wings. And from the photographs, you could clearly see that it was just the lighter color underside of the feathers, making it look out like there was light coming through.
I don't know if it was a large bat or some sort of weird nocturnal creature. I don't know, but it scared me enough that day that I got down out of my stand and I ran back. I fled from that area. If this thing was capable of picking up a 5-pointer buck, no problem. I had no idea what it would do to me, and I wasn't going to stick around to find out. You can bet I hightailed it out of there. Once I got to my friend's house, I explained to him exactly what I saw, and he knew something was up. I come barging in, pale as a ghost. He asked me what was wrong,
Okay.
and I told him exactly. He appeared to believe me, and even seemed worried himself. At first, he thought I was pulling his leg, joking with him, but I had to reiterate my...
Did you go back out with the camera at least? That sounds like something you want to get a picture of. You see an eagle, or I say it's an eagle because an eagle's the only thing that flies that can pick up ungulates that I'm aware of. Not a 5-point buck, but they can pick up ungulates. They can pick up sheep and small deer. There's some small species of deer that they can eat up into adulthood, like dukier and stuff like that, dicks and those kind of small little tiny deer species. But a 5-point whitetail buck is probably out of any bird of prey's weight category. Definitely out of any bat's weight category, though. But I would not think that it would be warm enough in North America to for a bat to benefit from being that size. Now, when it comes to thermal regulation, birds have it figured out with the layered feathers and the very highly insulated. They have also special types of fat in their bodies that help them stay warm and lets them grow to huge sizes. I mean, even up in the Arctic, like the Arctic terns are huge, for instance. But bats, because bats are mammals and our integument is fat and fur that we develop to keep ourselves warm. it kind of is inverted. The bigger a bat gets, the less, the more fat it would need to have to burn, the more energy it would have to burn to move its big giant wings, and the wings would lose heat like crazy because they're not covered in feathers like a bird's wing. They're open skin with blood vessels flowing through them. That's actually, that's why elephants have big ears that they flap to keep them cool. And then you get to like a mammoth, and a mammoth has tiny little ears because the mammoth is trying to retain its body heat. A giant bat in the northern climate would almost certainly have lost the ability to fly in order to maintain a body weight because its wings couldn't be big. Yeah, it just works inverse like that. I know it's weird to say, but...
Story several times to let him know exactly where it was, what it
Morning, Chris Mallard.
was, and what it did. This friend of mine still hunts on that same property today. No problems, no issues whatsoever. I guess he's the brave one. Knowing what I saw nearly 25 years ago, and no sighting of it since, that tells me that whatever it was is probably living incognito. Either that.
Yes, I used to love Beastmaster. Oh, I still love Beastmaster. They wrap their my microphone. They wrap their wings around the guy and open it up, and it's skeletons. Yeah, those bird monsters are pretty. They're bird bat things. I don't know what to call them, but they don't kill Dar because he has what's the bird's name, Karak or something like that with him, and they revere the eagle, which is a golden eagle. I believe it is the golden eagle that he has in that movie, which is the one that's big enough to carry a ungulate. And in that movie, Karak actually carries a child that they try to throw into a sacrificial pit. Pretty cool. Good movie. Making me nostalgic now. I need to find that on streaming somewhere and watch it.
Or lives outside the area and only comes in certain times of the year to eat and hunt. If it's
that, let's get to the Ahul. I think this was just no audio or anything, just video. So we're gonna named after its distinct call. It says, It is said to be like a bat-like, to be a bat-like creature near the size of a one-year-old child. Oh, it's gonna go so super fast. I guess I could slow it down, but yeah, we're not gonna do this one. Nope. Here we go. What? That's cool. That is so cool. I want one. It's either a drone or a kite. I think it's a kite. Because if it was a drone, I'd probably be doing more. It might be. Oh. Hold on. Let's go back. We'll get to you in a second. Yeah. Because I think if it was a drone, they would be able to maneuver it around a little more fancy. I guess kites could be maneuvered around fancy too, though. So who knows? It might be a drone. They can make drones look like anything these days. I got drones of Snoopy sitting on his doghouse, for instance. I hear him talking about the police and Lechusa, which is the, yeah. Yeah. They call it the Lechusa. Alright, the next one is, yeah. Now, I'll say this. This poor Kalugo got caught in the desert or in the jungle and put on a string. I don't think the sound is actually the sound that it makes. Like he's got it on a stick. Watch, you'll see the stick come up here. It's not actually lunging and making that sound. He's dragging it and making it flap and then putting the sound over top of it. Speaking of sound. But this is just sad. So yeah, there's the stick right there. It's not even pretending. Not even pretending anymore. What are you doing, pal? Leave that Kalugo alone. Just leave it alone. Let it go back into the forest where it belongs, where it can glide around and live in its natural habitat. Drag it out here into your driveway and tie it up to a stick and bounce it around. That's sort of awful. Sort of awful, pal. Aww. Hopefully he lets it go. I don't know what happens to it. But definitely a Kalugo. Now a Kalugo is actually closer related to us than most other mammals. It's a sister clade to the primates in Eucontoglyers. So sometimes this is called a flying lemur. I'd rub its belly. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually making that sound or not. I don't think it is.
Bats have long been associated with black magic, darkness, and the underworld. So when a gargantuan specimen was reportedly captured by military personnel in the jungles of the Philippines, tales of its terror soon spread. Looking like something straight out of a vampire horror flick, the pictured animal is in all likelihood a reality and belongs to a group of megabats commonly known as flying foxes.
Yeah. I remember pictures like this would go around all the time with the big bats hanging, and they had the bat hang up like real close to the camera, like right here, and then the person would stand right here and be like, "Look, my hand!" Like in the forced perspective, like, "Look, my hand's as big as a person. I have giant hands." Or let me see. Let me do something. Yeah, here we go. Look, it's a life-size Godzilla or human-sized Godzilla in the frame with me. Isn't that cool? It's a giant Godzilla statue that I have. Forced perspective.
As the name implies, their head resembles that
Morning,
of a fox,
salt of the
and
red
the
earth.
wingspan of certain species can reach almost 6 feet wide. There's nothing to fear though, as their diet is made up of simply nectar and fruit. In fact, their existence is a blessing, for they play an integral role in seed dispersal.
Don't you kind of wish that your diet was made up of nectar and fruit? It's not like the most chill and peaceful and like the softest diet. Oh, I want that. I want that for us all, just to chill and eat fruit and nectar and just chill, and not have to. We can just like hang from our feet in the tree branches till a python comes and eats us. But
and pollination. The two species of bat found in the Philippines that can reach mega proportions is the giant golden-crowned flying fox and the Malaysian flying fox. Both face pressures from deforestation and poaching, and it is always a shame to see such magnificent animals propped up like this.
That and this is forced perspective too, of course, the way that this is being shown here.
Because healthy and alive is when they truly shine. Once
for
again,
real, for real.
Thanks for tuning in, and giddy up.
Yeah. I'm all about preserving and not hunting these animals down. Aswing! Mananangongo! I don't know how to say that. Mananangongo? And that's not English. That's some language I don't understand. So, here we go. Those look kind of like the same kind of drones or kites or whatever we saw before, don't they? I'm thinking it's a specific build of drone. And this is supposed to be in the Philippines. Yeah, I'm gonna go with... They might be custom drones though, look. Because they got like the humanoid torso almost, with a humanoid head. Oh, we got one hiding in the bushes too. Is that really supposed to be? Batman Bora.
Hello and welcome to the giant bats found in the minutes within the mist. Today, we will learn how a cryptid became a reality known as the Malularuka. Captain
Cool.
William Hitchens wrote in Discovery magazine in December of 1937 that native Kralesmen of Tanganyika, now Tanzania, spoke of a
Tanzania.
mysterious creature known as the Maluraruka, or flying jackal. It was described to be a jackal, but with leathery wings measuring 2.5 feet long. Some said this undiscovered giant bat could truly fly, while others believed it was only capable of gliding, and that its diet consisted mainly of fruit. It was probably the foremost tame and normal of the undiscovered African giant bats of the time.
Yeah, Africa had its share of giant bat lore.
Like the known species of giant bats, it is a fruit eater, and it often flew in the local fruit gardens, frequently raiding mango trees and pomegranates during its flights at dusk. It would give voice to loud cries while on the wing.
I love their derpy little eyes. They're so cute. I can't stand it.
In 1926,
I think this is the bat that they modeled like the Batty Coda from Fern Gully off of, which is really weird because Batty Coda is in, I believe Fern Gully takes place in South America, based on the other animals like the giant tegu.
zoologist Arthur Loveridge set out to uncover the truth and track down the creature to Vituri, only to learn that it was not a flying jackal at all. Instead, he discovered a Lord Derby's or Fraser's scaly tail, known by its scientific name Anomalurius derbineus. The locals had been mistaken. What they thought was a mythical flying jackal was really a large aerial squirrel. I hope you enjoy
A
learning
gliding squirrel.
about the discovery of a true life cryptid, and will join us at the Within the Mist for more cryptids, ghosts, and other mysteries for free on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Bats are some of the most fascinating animals alive today. As one of the few...
Now we're going to get... I actually don't want... This is Benji Thomas. I don't want to play their whole video because I want people to go to actually their channel. They actually started a new channel called 7 Days of Science. So go check that out as well.
Few vertebrate lineages to achieve true powered flight. Learning about these mammals is always rewarding, and the evolutionary history of the bat order is a captivating journey. There are many amazing extinct bat species that we know of, but the one we're looking at today is a particularly remarkable taxon. Desmodus draculae was the largest vampire bat that's known to have ever existed, living until very recently throughout the Americas, and likely having fed on the blood of megafauna such as giant sloths.
Yes, so there were giant bats, giant vampire bats, but they weren't giant like in the way that you would think of a giant bat today.
Desmodus draculae was first encountered back in 1965, when fossil remains belonging to the bat were discovered in a cave in Venezuela, though it wasn't until 1988 that the fossils were officially described as a new species. These remains included an almost complete skull and mandible, in addition to parts of the arm bones and 3 vertebrae, though other specimens have since been found which preserve more of the skeleton. The paleontologists decided to very aptly name this new species, the largest vampire bat known, after Count Dracula himself, creating the specific name Draculae. The bat was also found to actually belong to...
Now see how it's got like little ridges above its nose? That's what I was talking about with the leaf-shaped segments on its face.
...to an already known genus, Desmodus, the same as the still living common vampire bat Desmodus rotundus. Several other extinct species in this genus have also been named, however Desmodus draculae is still the largest. Since the initial discovery of this bat in Venezuela, both fossils and subfossils have been found throughout the Americas, from as far south as Argentina all the way to Mexico, and ranging from the late Pleistocene to as recently as possibly just 300 years ago. So how big was Desmodus draculae? Well, it was still a vampire bat, so it's not exactly reaching future predator dimensions.
Now, future predator, that was supposed to be like the evolved bat, like from millions of years in the future, when they became giant nocturnal quadrupedal predators.
But it was huge for a desmodontine. Looking at the size of its skull, it's likely that the species was capable of achieving a wingspan of around 50 centimeters, and probably...
And now remember for my American people that that 30 centimeters is about a foot, so 50 centimeters is going to be about just about a foot and a half, a little under a foot and a half. So not huge, just you know, a big bat, but not huge.
Probably a mass of 60 grams. This might not...
Now, vampire bats are very skilled at moving on the ground on all fours, so that's an ability that they have that a lot of other bats don't have, too. And it's because they land kind of farther away from their targeted meal, and then they crawl towards it or hop towards it, is to not draw too much attention to themselves.
Not sound all that impressive, but that puts Desmodus draculae in the same realm as the largest of horseshoe bats and even small fruit bats, while most of its relatives are more in the range of 10 to 20 grams, so this was truly a monster among microbats. As I just mentioned, the giant vampire bat had a pretty massive geographic range stretching across the Americas.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to the next video now because I don't want to watch too much of theirs, but yeah, this is Benji Thomas. And they have a great animal channel, or fossil channel. And then they got 7 Days of Science as well. Let's see what we got here.
Scientists discovered the remains of a 100,000-year-old giant vampire bat.
Oh, this one's robot voice. Ugh.
Approximately 100,000 years ago, there was a massive vampire bat. It was the largest of all vampire bats, at least 30% larger than its closest living relative, the common vampire bat.
Yeah, so yeah, 30% larger. It's not like kaiju size, or not even man size.
Recently discovered the fossilized remains of the species, known as Desmodus draculae, in an Argentina cave. They believe the remains will reveal important information about why bats die out and how their evolution in prehistoric times was linked to climate change. The significance of the fossils, which were recently published.
Don't you love their little wings? They stretch out their wings. It's so cute.
In a Meganiana, is notable. The discovery of the species' jaw confirms its presence in the mid-latitudes and during the Pleistocene epoch. There are approximately 1,400 known bat species today, with only 3 being vampire bats, which feed on the blood of other creatures. The common vampire bat, Desmodus rotundus, hairy-legged vampire bat, Diphila ecordata, and white-winged vampire bat, Diademus youngi, are the 3 living species in Central and South America. Scientists also believe that all species, both living and extinct, descended from the same ancestors. Nonetheless, in reality, they are peaceful animals that feed on the blood of other animals, and occasionally humans.
That's kind of counterintuitive that they're peaceful animals that feed on the blood of other animals. I'm peaceful. I just want your blood. Don't make it weird. I just want to bite you and drink your blood. I'm peaceful. I just want to bite you. Can I bite you in peace, please?
For a few minutes without causing pain. The only disadvantage is that if infected, they can spread rabies or other diseases. Surely, their prehistoric ancestors behaved similarly. The findings reveal not only how the species lived, but also how they died out. One reason could be the depletion of their food supply, while another could be their inhospitable climate. We'll meet you in the next update. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you.
All right. So, I think that's it for the bats. Well, oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. This is the cutest thing that's ever been put on YouTube. Look how cute he is. I don't need that audio. Look at him. Trying to make a comfortable spot. Make yourself comfortable. Yeah. Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. There you go. Ah, stretch that wing. Oh, stretch that wing. Everybody stretch with the bat. Nope, got ahead of him. There you go. Oh, big stretch. All right. Big stretch. You sleepy? He's getting ready to go to sleep. It's the sun shining, and it's time for Bat to go to bed. Night night. Sleep tight. Oh, did you just yawn? That's so cute. I love his little face. Oh, there's his little tongue. God, it's so cute. All right. Good night, little bat. Good night. Sleep tight. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So, yeah, that's our giant bats. It was kind of all over the place today. We bounced between mythology and sightings of actual animals, and it's been a nice coverage of the overarching topic. See, unlike the giant spiders, I didn't think there's enough giant bats to cover each continent on its own. I didn't think there was enough sightings of it. But with the giant spiders, we've done Africa, North America. We haven't done Asia or South America or Australia yet, or Antarctica, because yes, there are giant spiders from Antarctica. Good morning, John Fabiano. You missed the giant bats, but you're just in time for more flying stuff, so don't you worry about it. But yeah, that's going to finish up Cryptic Corner for me. I guess I could have probably had one more video on this week's show to fill out the time, but that's all right, because we may use up that time at the end of the show when we talk about that black wolf, because there's a lot to say about the black wolves. I will see you guys, though. Or I guess I need to close this segment out first. Thank you for tuning in for Cryptic Corner. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, so live from the Hive audience. That's you people watching live right now, all 20 of you. Okay, I'm going to go to an intermission. I'm going to go refresh my coffee. I may go to the bathroom while I'm up, depending on how my bladder feels once I'm up and moving around. And then I will be back. So there's going to be a short intermission here. Please enjoy. And yeah, I will be back in 2 minutes or so. All right, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to the segment where we get weird with it, and I have something really weird for you today. I promise. You've not heard this. Well, maybe you have. Maybe you have. A lot of people haven't, though. But I figured it needed a spotlight. Okay, so we're going to spotlight it. Because did you know that the ancient Egyptians invented the airplane? The ancient Egyptians invented the airplane in ancient Egypt. Oh yeah. True story, apparently. But we'll let them break it down for us. Mystery history. Okay, hold on. Let's see, what is this? Mystery history. Let's look at them real quick before we dive too deep into this. See what other kind of stuff that they have on here. Okay, because this might be something that I could recommend for my friends who do these kind of shows like Bad Science Sunday. Oh. Okay, so yeah, we have scientist blows whistle on the Sphinx true age. That was 1 day ago. We probably could have covered that today, but this is the one that fell into my lap. But lots of where we got the star forts, of course. Lots of UFOs. Unexplained relics of lost civilizations. Oh, Antarctica, of course, is making a big presentation right here. Ancient ruins exposed in space. What? But so it's that kind of channel, if you get my drift. Let's let them tell us their uh-huh. Well, I'd be more willing to believe that a ship, that the ancient Egyptians came up with an airship that used hot air and burning fires, than I would that they come up with an airplane. Oh, the video is silent. Okay, hold on.
Are often overlooked. Indeed, these precious masks and past pharaohs' possessions are undoubtedly exquisite in nature. However, there are some objects never designed to stun or impress, but built with a function. Functions which could shed light on the most intriguing and mysterious aspects of this past civilization. The Khufu ship being but one of these said artifacts. A boat found disassembled under the Great Pyramid, once said to have floated through the sky. And although the physical idea of this ship actually flying is a leap too far for some, there is, in fact, an artifact which exists, found in 1898 during an excavation of the Padi Ayman tomb in Saqqara, Egypt, which you may find a bit more practically designed for
I see you, Ember. You're not invisible.
Flight through the Egyptian skies. Although numerous sources over the past century have surfaced accusing Egyptian authorities of concealing the discovery of vimanas, ancient flying machines, within the pyramids of Giza, our said artifact seems to have slipped through this net of secrecy.
Vimanas are actually not Egyptian, though. Vimanas are Hindi, right? That's part of Hindi mythology.
Often with these well-stocked and well-preserved tombs, resting places of past pharaohs, whom once possessed unimaginable riches, numerous toy models of their once favored crafts and vessels will be discovered. Exquisitely constructed miniature replicas of their favorite forms of travel. It seems this artifact may have indeed been filtered through the security netting of public paradigm. As doing so, it seems to have lost its tailplane. Known as the Sakara bird, it is now largely thought by many to have been a replica of an ancient flying craft. More specifically,
when you say thought by many, you mean like crackpots, though. This is what I'm picking up on. Oh, you gotta go get washed up, Al? Well, have a good morning. Or good, I don't know if it's you got more morning left. I got more morning left. I got an hour and 15 minutes of morning left.
Glider. Clearly inspired by a bird's flight, the fixed wing upon its back has been found to be perfectly angled to create lift. Egyptian physician, archaeologist,
has it though?
Parapsychologist and dowser Khalil Messiah has concluded that the ancient Egyptians developed the first
dowsers. People who do dowsing, they're the experts on aerodynamics, I'll tell you that.
Aircrafts. Predictably, he has experienced considerable hostility regarding his expose of evidences. One particular effort was undertaken by a character known as Martin Gregory, a builder and designer of free-flight gliders. He apparently built an exact replica of the Sakara bird made of balsa wood. After testing this replica, Gregory would conclude that the Sakara bird never flew. He told the interested parties that it was totally unstable in flight. Even after a tailplane was fitted, he claimed that the glider's performance was disappointing. He finished by concluding that the Sakara bird was probably made as a child's toy or a weather vane. This clear attempt to suppress the truth, however, failed, and Martin has since been proven to have lied regarding the abilities of the glider. The question is, why did he lie?
Why? Why do you think he lied? Good morning, Bride of Fabiano.
According to Messiah's son, Dawood Khalil Messiah, a successful architect who has thankfully continued the work of his father, Gregory's suggestion that the Sakara bird was a weather vane is impossible due to the lack of markings or any holes on the model that would serve as a means of hanging it. Additionally, and most importantly, aerodynamics expert Simon Sanderson also tested a replica model in a wind tunnel without a tailplane, and found that it produced 4 times the glider's own weight and lift. In Liverpool University, Sanderson then subjected it to another, more powerful wind tunnel, this time after adding the missing tail. He stated that the
Y'all can't hear it still?
Sakara bird actually flew quite well, clearly to the annoyance of certain people who are probably now regretting not seizing the entire artifact some years ago, rather than
What happened to the video? You can hear it, you can't see it. Yeah, it looks like it clipped the video out or something. What's going on here? Let's see, properties. Showing now. What a mess. We're way up here though.
has thankfully continued the work of his father. Gregory's suggestion that the Sakara bird was a weather vane is impossible due to the lack of markings or any holes on the model that would serve as a means of hanging it. Additionally, and most importantly, aerodynamics expert Simon Sanderson also tested a replica model in a wind tunnel without a tailplane, and found that it produced 4 times the glider's own weight and lift. In Liverpool University, Sanderson then subjected it to another, more powerful wind tunnel, this time after adding the missing tail. He stated that the Sakara bird actually flew quite well.
Hey Dave, your captive desk comments aren't showing? Oh no. Scroll back up. I see you saying good morning. Good morning, Ember. I sent you an email, FYI. Hello, Native. Hello, and Native said hi to ya. 10 centimeters. I don't know what's going on.
Well, clearly to the annoyance of certain people who are probably now regretting not seizing the entire artifact some years ago, rather than just the tail plane. Over 2,000 years after the ancient Egyptians carved this mysterious bird, modern technology has proven beyond doubt that at full size, it could have indeed once flown through the Egyptian skies.
No. Really could
Never flew. He told the interested parties that it was...
Yes, he's correct. It never flew. Is this the one I wanted? I don't think so. Dang it. This is the one I wanted. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually the research that was done on the Saqqara bird to see if it would fly. Aerodynamic investigation of the artifact bird of Saqqara. Abstract. Lost technical knowledge of ancient cultures is being rediscovered in modern times during archaeological excavation. A presumed example of the innovation power of ancient cultures is the artifact bird of Saqqara. The context of this paper, the aerodynamic characteristics of the artifact, are to be determined by a computational fluid simulation. In order to be able to make a statement about the actual flight sustainability and to examine these pre-astronautics critically, based on a 3D scan, a CAD model of the artifact is created, and then a numerical flow simulation is performed. By varying angles of attack, the dimensionless coefficients can be represented by corresponding polars. The results show that the artifact has a low maximum glide ratio, and thus the glide properties are not sufficient for use as a hang glider. The center of gravity on the artifact is located on the trailing edge of the wings and behind the neutral point. The resulting longitudinal stability does not meet the modern specifications. Asymmetric lift distribution in a span-wise direction results in uncontrolled roll. Consequently, the artifact can not fly a straight path. Within the scope of this work, the connection between the bird of Saqqara and the alleged knowledge of aerodynamics in ancient Egypt could not be confirmed. So, they took the bird, built a 3D model of it with all its values and everything measured out, and they made it fly. And as you can see, there's the lift versus drag. Yeah, this is where it's supposed to be, flying its own momentum right here, and you can see where it drops off and just as soon as it loses its initial thrust power, it spirals out. Can't fly in a straight line, and as you can see, it's got all sorts of aerodynamic problems, preventing it from from performing its function. But even if this thing could fly, right? If you could throw it and it would fly, it does not mean they had airplanes or gliders or anything. It means, because that's like making the claim that says because we can make paper airplanes in junior high that we invent that every 8-year-old invents. I guess that's before junior high, elementary school. Even every 8-year-old invents the airplane. That's just not true, because you can make something that can, because you can formulate something that can glide based on bird proportions, right? Based on how big a bird is compared to its wingspan, and the weight of the bird compared to its wingspan, and things like that, and you make a little glider out of it, that does not mean you innovated powered flight. It just doesn't. But that's not the only evidence of ancient Egyptian flight. There's some hieroglyphics that talk about it too. Let's check this out. From Professor Simon.
History of the Egyptian helicopter carved into the tomb of Seti the First.
Yep, here we go.
When this odd hieroglyph was first discovered, it clearly depicts a helicopter.
Yep, no doubt. It's the Airwolf.
Possibly a speedboat?
I guess what's the Airwolf version? Thunder in Paradise, maybe?
Rocket.
In a rocket ship. A spaceship. Do we think so?
But the true story of the Egyptian helicopter hieroglyph is even better. It's actually two messages carved on top of each other. The original hieroglyphic message is actually a bit of a mystery and says, "He who repulses the nine being the 9 enemies of very, very ancient Egypt." Time passed, and rather than replacing a blank piece of limestone, the new pharaoh, Ramesses II, ordered that the old hieroglyphs be covered up with plaster and recarved to say, "He who protects Egypt and repels its enemies." A similar message, but in the Ramesses II era, a much more politically correct statement. And most of the hieroglyphs were the same. And here's a fantastic word for you.
So, Amber, how old were you when you realized Airwolf was replaying the same 4 minutes of helicopter combat in different arrangements for every episode? Native atheist. Do you see my comment? Are you still having problems with people not seeing you, Dave? Let me see. Live chat. Because I see you. Are you sure Native atheist isn't just messing with you? I don't know. Let me check and see if someone accidentally timed you out or something. That might have happened. That does. Let's see. Permissions. Community. There we go. And I'm just checking to see if I have you, like, if someone accidentally puts you on, like, a ban list or something. Because if they did, I can remove you. I thought it was under under community here, but I don't see. Oh, hidden users. Here we go. Yeah. You're not on there, though. There's the alternative Titan Uranus is on there. Yeah, no, we got you. I don't got any ban for you or anything. All right.
Palimpsest. A palimpsest is a text on top of another. Vellum and limestone are precious. So if you can scrape it off a bit and reuse it to write your new message, all the better. But sometimes you can still read the old message through the new one. And over the ravages of time, that's what revealed the so-called helicopter. As the two messages decayed and the plaster dropped off, it seemed to reveal a much more modern symbol. But in fact, it's a palimpsest. Two messages on top of each other, forming something new in our minds. And that's something that you and I both suffer from. Pareidolia. And that's a mystery from history, because the truth is out there.
Yeah, I like this guy, Professor Simon. He's pretty nifty guy, pretty smart fella. Science filmmaker, 133K subscribers. But yeah, check this channel out for more short videos like this. But yeah, as far as this bird thing goes, though, I think it's a bust. Everywhere I look has it soundly debunked. I've not seen anything that that says that it was a actual oh, that's not the one I wanted. It was an actual flying machine of any type. Let's see here. What's this one? This is the Wayback Machine, I think. Some of these links aren't good anymore. That's a big problem that Wikipedia has too, is there's no automation thing that says when a link goes dead that turns it so that you know. That is peculiar, Dave. I haven't seen you comment since towards the beginning of the show either. Mythbusters did an episode on that, yeah. That sounds about right. But what a wild ride. I'm not opposed to it being something that somebody tried to, that a kid would throw. You know, I'm not opposed to that. I think that'd be a reasonable thing. That's a toy bird that you throw or that you run around with. It doesn't matter. You can run around holding it. You don't have to throw it. It didn't have the hole in the bottom of it. You saw the dowel rod. That was so it could be put on display. This is one of the few artifacts from ancient Egypt that actually stayed in Egypt, because this is in Cairo. You can go see it at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. A lot of their artifacts, of course, found their way into museums in the UK and France. Just like the vast majority of artifacts, I guess, had that fate, but I digress. I'm not going to rant too much on that. I really do wish that those museums would return at least the majority of their artifacts to their countries of origin, though. I think that's not too much to ask. Yeah, I don't like to change the mini player either. Stop making changes we didn't ask for and nobody wanted. Just take the damn heart logo away and make all chat messages default. Yeah, that when you hit that in the corner, yeah, exactly. It makes it so you end up timing people out or doing moderation when you're just trying to do something different. Yeah. Well, guys, I do have one more topic after this, but thank you so much for sticking around while we got weird with it with the Saqqara bird and the helicopter hieroglyphics. We will see you next time. All right, and again, live from the Hive, people. Stick around. We have wolves up ahead. More wolves. I know I talk about wolves a lot, but I love wolves, and I hope you love wolves too. But I will see you guys over there.
if it takes forever, I will wait for you for 1,000 summers. I will wait for you till you're back beside me, till I'm holding you, till I hear you sigh here in my arms. Anywhere you wander, anywhere you go, every day remember how I love you so. In your heart, believe what's in my heart. I know that forever.
Hello and welcome to a Breeze Bestiary, where I pick an animal and talk about it however I want, when I want, because it's my show. But if you like animals, you might like this too. And since it's our Halloween episode, I thought I'd pick something special. And I actually picked the Florida black wolf. But before we learn about the Florida black wolf, I think it's important that we learn about the red wolf of North America. Now, the wolves we have over most of the United States, Canada, and all of the old world, Russia, and European wolves, all of those are the same species, Canis lupus, right? But the U.S. has a different species of wolf. It's Canis rufus, the red wolf. The red wolf lived in the southeastern United States and is an intermediate kind of size and form between a coyote and a gray wolf. Actually, for some naturalists have made an argument that it is a coyote wolf hybrid species, but I digress. We're not going to crack open that right now. I just want to kind of lay the groundwork for what this species is and how they ended up in the state they're in. So let's crack this open.
I think people are so fascinated with wolves because it's such an iconic species. It's a solitary predator that's beautiful and deserves protection.
Humans and wolves have a long history, and they're part of our natural heritage.
From the time that we're children reading fairy tales, they create an allure in our imaginations.
I am searching for the elusive red wolf.
People are very fascinated to photograph wolves and to see them.
There are less than 50 of these guys in the wild right now, just to kind of put things into perspective.
In person, I think just because of the wildness of a wolf.
I am stoked. This is absolutely awesome. I can't get over it.
We have two wolves here, a male and a female. We were wild once, and I think that so red wolves just kind of represent that wildness that we keep looking for.
There's something about wolves. They're a family group and they mate for life. And of course it doesn't hurt that they're cute as hell. And they're just out on the landscape trying to make
Now, red wolves don't live in as big a pack as gray wolves do. Red wolves tend to live in smaller, like, again, intermediate between coyotes and wolves. Like, coyotes live in pairs with a year's worth of young, usually with them. Whereas red wolves live in small family groups, and then of course, gray wolves can live in massive packs of dozens of animals. So there are some behavioral characteristics that are different between these species.
living. We are driving on to the Alligator National Wildlife Refuge. My name is Joe Madison. I am the program manager for the Fish and Wildlife Service for the Red Wolf Recovery Program in Eastern North Carolina. Wolf tracks. Historically, red wolves were found throughout the southeastern United States, including eastern North Carolina. And they started to decline in the 60s, and then in the 1970s, they recognized that they were losing the species. So at that time, they decided to capture all remaining red wolves and bring them into captivity with the hope of having a captive breeding program. And in 1987...
And you can see how they do look like coyote-like features. Some of that could be genetic, some of it could be convergent because they live in a southern climate. So they're going to be smaller, and they're going to have bigger ears, and they're going to have shorter fur. Same thing we see with like the Indian wolves or the Ethiopian wolves. They are smaller and have bigger ears. The Ethiopian wolf looks so much like a coyote or a jackal that they thought it was a jackal until I think just in the last 20 years or so, they found out it was actually a species of wolf because they converge on that body type when you move them into that type of environment. If you moved, I imagine, I can't say for sure, but I would say if you moved like a population of timber wolves from like Canada or something down into Florida, over a few generations, they would probably shrink quite a bit. Things in Florida tend to get small anyway. The Florida panther is a good example. They are tiny compared to mountain lions around the rest of the animals' range.
4 pairs were released into the wild. After approximately 2007, for various reasons, both political and ecological, the red wolf population started to decline.
Red wolves are special because they are so critically endangered.
15 to 17 living in the wild, y'all.
My name is Jen Myhills. I'm the regional director with National Wildlife Federation. Unfortunately, we've seen an increase in gunshot mortality.
Sorry, guys. I should have trigger warning that. I didn't realize.
Collisions with cars. And then they are also facing all of the same stressors that our other native wildlife are facing with invasive species, climate change, and really a squeeze on their habitat. One of the challenges red wolves are facing are the expansion of coyotes in the recovery area. And in fact, the entire country, largely in the absence of other predators.
Yes, so since the Canis lupus, the gray wolves, were extirpated in the most of the United States, and the red wolves were extirpated in most of the southeast United States, coyotes, which were a southwestern species, moved in over the last couple hundred years to replace them in that ecological niche. And the coyotes we get now are much bigger than their ancestors were in the Southwest. And southwestern coyotes are still quite small compared to eastern coyotes, even the eastern coyotes that are in the South.
Like red wolves. Wildlife don't respect property boundaries. We've heard concerns raised from farmers about any impacts that wolves might have on livestock.
Here in the 5 counties where red wolves are found, you're not allowed to shoot coyotes at nighttime because of the concern over mistaken identity and shooting a red wolf.
There's a good example of how they're the same and how they're different, right? See the characteristics, for instance, the coyote's eyes are much bigger compared to the size of its face, and their muzzles are much more narrower. The color here doesn't really matter, though, other than that you do see why they're called red wolves here when you look at this beautiful creature's ears and around in face markings. They're a little bit more robust too, obviously.
Instead. So that has led to private landowners feeling like their rights are being infringed upon because of the red wolf.
Many of our large landowners want the ability to control the predator population at will without interference by the federal government. My name is David Clegg. I'm the county manager and county attorney of Tyrrell County, North Carolina. Those issues are strongly held and clearly articulated to elected officials in Tyrrell County. And
I wonder if there are coyotes on the Outer Banks. You think they'd be too populated now?
The educational component over time has probably not been as robust as it should have been. Clearly, the existence of wildlife refuges and those areas that encourage hunting and fishing and birding are vitally important to the economic lifeblood of this place.
Well, wildlife management is required for successfully hunting in the future generations to be able to. So.
This is the only area where there is a wild population of red wolves in the entire world.
What I want for Terrell County, ultimately, is that it have a robust ecotourism economy.
They are very shy and wary of humans, even though these two have been in captivity all their lives.
The wolf, the story of the wolf, the unique nature of that reintroduction, that is a story that needs to be told.
The beat got stronger as I pointed the antenna in this direction. My hope for the Red Wolf Recovery Program here in eastern North Carolina and throughout its range is to increase the population and for this species to thrive in the wild and to be accepted and be a benefit to the folks of the areas that they're found in.
Yeah, I'd like to see a rebound, at least in some other states. They're just in North Carolina now. That's where they are. That's the last refuge.
Red Wolf Recovery and their continued success in the wild is going to take the cooperative effort of all of us together to bring this species back from the brink again. If we don't act now, we are at the very real risk of losing the species in our lifetimes, or certainly our.
There's endangered wolf center down by St. Louis that has some red wolves too. There's a few places that have them in captivity, but in the wild is where they're really
children's lifetimes.
And that's another distinct difference between red wolves and coyotes. Red wolves can freaking howl. Coyotes don't really. Have you heard? If you're in the side chat and you've heard a coyote howl, or a coyote make sounds, I guess it's not really a howl. Press 1 or put 1 so I know. Otherwise, coyotes make a distinct sound. It's almost like a hyena. So that's the red wolf, right? Now, Florida had its own distinct subspecies of red wolf called the Florida black wolf, which was Canis rufus Floridanus, yeah. But it was black, or they had black members of their population. I'm gonna skip your intro here, though, dude. Let's start here. This is like an outdoors channel, but he has a video of one.
All right, so this video is gonna be a lot different than our usual hunting and fishing videos. But the other day, I was watching this TV show where a guy goes and looks for extinct animals. And he came to Florida, and he was looking for either a black panther or a black wolf. There's a lot of black panther sightings in Florida, and he assumed that it was the extinct black wolf. I had never knew that Florida had black wolves. I had never heard of it until I watched that TV show. And I've lived here my whole life. When I seen the pictures that he was posting, I was thinking, I seen a black canine about 3 years ago, and I actually got a recording of it on my phone. Here's the footage.
See, it's so small though, and this could be a koi dog too, but let's look at it. Can I zoom in any? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use you guys to zoom in. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. All right. Zoom, zoom. Zoom. That's probably about as close as we're going to get with it. It's starting to pixelate anyway. All right. So it's definitely looks like a canine. To me, it almost looks like a melanistic red fox. Which, because of its tail, because its tail looks like it's in that shed stage. But melanistic red foxes are a thing. Are they in Florida though? Because, yeah, like, if we look, this is what a melanistic red fox looks like. Sometimes they have red markings, though. But they almost always have the white tip on their tail, too. Oh, crud, I got you all blown up. Pay attention to what you're doing. It's all right. They can still see some of them. Yeah, they almost always have that white tip right there. But I don't know. This one could be a wolf. Be a small wolf, but red wolves were small. Anyway, we're gonna let Guy continue on and see what he has to say about it.
Now, the footage wasn't all that great because I was driving and I seen it come out in the road. I got a really good look at it. It stopped in the road and looked at me and then proceeded to go across the road. And I was trying to get my phone out, and by the time I got the phone out, he was headed off the road. That's why I only got him going across. But I looked up the definition of a black wolf, like its features, and it said it had some white around his nose and a little bit of white on his chest. And I remember that one having a little bit of white around his nose. I don't quite remember his chest, though, being so long ago. But it was really dark colored, too. It wasn't all that great big, though. It looked like a regular-sized coyote, but the black wolf wasn't that much bigger than a black coyote. So I was thinking, how many other people have seen black canines in the woods while they were out hunting or just looking around and assumed it was a black coyote? Because that's what I did. I'd never heard of the black wolf. So I started asking around a bunch of people that have lived here their whole lives to see if they'd ever heard of the black wolf and if they'd ever seen any black canines around here. And I asked about 10 people, and 8 of them had seen what they said was a black coyote at some point. And
well, a black coyote could be with a coyote mixed with a dog, too. It could be a coy dog, and they can have a black or other off colors of fur from regular run-of-the-mill coyotes. Lots of coyotes here in central and southern Indiana, yep. I'm in northern Indiana, and our property butted up against a nature preserve. Coyotes used to come look in our windows. I have road runners, so coyotes don't mess with me, or don't mess with me here, says John Hudson. 6-foot fence are nothing to a coyote. Acme makes products that are hazardous to coyotes.
None of them, ne'er a single person. I've asked even more people about the black wolf if they'd ever heard of it. No one has. No one. So that's crazy to me that maybe they could still be out there and just nobody knows what they are. They just assume that they're black coyotes. Maybe it's just this area that don't know about it. Maybe it's the whole state. I'm not sure. But I know there's black dogs out in the woods and they could just be black coyotes. But I think it's worth looking into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the area where I seen that black canine, which was 3 years ago, so he may not even be anywhere near there. He might be dead. There's no telling. But I'm going to go look. I'm going to go set out some trail cameras and try to bait him up. It's right on the border of state land and a club I'm in. And that state land is big, and there's places in there that don't have
in the club, we're all fam.
roads, and it's real swampy. There's pretty good area for an animal to hide in like that. And that would probably be the better place to look for him, but I'm not allowed to bait in there. And it's kind of hard to get predators on camera like that. Coyotes, especially, are really particular about that. I only get like 1 or 2 coyote pictures all year. And I run my game cameras probably 4 or 5 months a year. Only get like 1 or 2 coyote pictures. And most of the time is them running away from the camera after they see it. So the baiting's probably going to be the best way to do it. I can do it in the club land that borders it.
In the club, we're all fam.
So we're going to start off doing that and see if we can't locate that black dog. Hopefully, it's not a wild goose chase. But if there's even a small chance that there's an extinct animal out there, we're going to look for it, see what we can do. All right, so me and Maya are out here. We're actually about half a mile from where I spotted it crossing that main road. The only issue is it was coming out of the hunting club we're in, so we're allowed to bait coyotes in here.
In the club, we're all family.
But in the state land, that's where it went into. On the other side of the road is state land. We ain't allowed to bait in there. And the spot that I really think it would have a good chance of staying in is actually in the state land. The opposite direction, though, there's a bunch of state land on the other side, and there's not many roads that go in it, and there's a bunch of country in there. Feels like that would be the most likely spot for him to be hanging out at, but we can't really bait in there, and it's kind of hard to get them on camera without bait. I've never really got many coyotes on camera, and there's tons of them out here. So we're gonna set out 2 cameras in the club right here by where we seen it, and we ended up getting a feral hog carcass. So we're gonna split it up between 2 different spots. We're gonna see what we can get on camera. All right, this is the spot. I actually wanted to pick a spot with a little bit of underbrush that I could slide the carcass under, because buzzards would see it pretty easily in these open pines. They're not real open pines, but they're pretty open in here. I know the coyotes like...
Well, the buzzards are going to smell it before they see it.
To wander around in these open pines at night. And according to what we know about the wolf, it liked the open prairies, and I'm guessing open pines about the same thing, really. It's pretty open. So I got the camera set right there. Gonna drag it right up under there. We're gonna see what we can get. We got one more spot to go check out. Put a camera up.
No place like Florida, I swear. Look at that landscape.
We'll be done. All right, this is spot number 2. Gonna put the camera right there. We cut off some pieces of that hog carcass, the back end, and then I got a couple freezer burnt pork chop packs we gonna throw out here. Just the pork chops. Gonna put them under this tree. Kind of hide them from the buzzards a little bit. We're probably gonna have some buzzard pictures anyway. I got the cameras on record. We're gonna leave them out about a week. I don't feel like this bait's gonna be good for real long, so a week seems about like the right amount of time. There's nothing but miles and miles of these open pines in here.
Yeah.
And if they like that kind of territory, there is plenty of it over here. Maya's struggling over there. You know, we could look for tracks, try to find a bigger size coyote track. There's a healthy population of coyotes around here. But
guys having some trouble with that strap on the camera.
So hog hunt around here this time of year with dogs. So even if we did find a bigger dog track, you really wouldn't be able to tell nothing. There's plenty of dog tracks in this area.
You can tell the difference between a wolf track and a dog track.
Doesn't look like there's been much traffic in here though, from the looks of the roads. Hopefully we get something on camera. We're gonna have to wait a week and see. All right, me and Maya are back out here about to go check the cameras. It's been exactly a week. I didn't
he's baiting.
Figure that carcass would be good bait for any longer than that. It probably, with how hot it is, it's miserably hot. It probably didn't take it long to rot. Hopefully something found it first. I know the buzzards probably did. Hopefully they didn't find it before everything else did.
When they say buzzards, they mean turkey vultures.
No. Well, that's where the carcass was laying, and there is not even a sign of it being there. Hope they didn't drag it off too fast. See what we got. All right, I got the little card reader. We're gonna see what we got. There's 22 videos on here. It's a good sign. Some kind of predator dragged that body off, so let's see what we got.
Oh, coyote. Yeah, that's a coyote. Same coyote. Oh, he looks wounded. Is he injured? Oh no. At least he's found some food to sustain him while he's injured. Wonder what happened. Hope it didn't get stuck in a trap. He's walking like he's got his foot in a trap. Marking his territory. Yeah.
Well, there was one injured coyote. He had a real bad limp to him, and he never left that thing until it was gone. I don't think he was the one who drug it off. I don't think he had the power to do it. Bunch of regular coyotes are baiting them up. Worked. Just didn't get a picture of that black dog I seen. Hope you're still around here. We got one more camera to check. And since this one was pretty successful catching predators, we'll see what the other one's got. Oh, this one's gone too. Put it under that tree right there. All right, so the second camera, there was no bait left there, and then the card reader would not read it for some reason. It said it was corrupted, so we had to bring it back to the house, put it in a laptop, and look at the footage there. And I think it was the first night or pretty early on, a boar hog found it and ate everything.
Cannibalism. The boar hog cannibalized his kin. But yeah, I mean, pigs be pigs. That's what they do.
So that's all we got on camera was a boar hog. And then we got a doe walking past randomly during the week. But so that camera was pretty disappointing. We did get coyotes on the first one, so that's a good sign. Our baiting worked. We just didn't get the right creature. We're going to have to try it again, and I'm going to keep asking around and see if I can find a spot where someone else seen one, maybe more recent than the one I seen, because that would probably be a little better. But we're not going to give up. And there's definitely going to be a part 2, maybe a part 3. I didn't expect to find anything in the first week. That would have been extremely lucky. So we're just going to keep at it, see if we can't make something happen. Hopefully somebody else knows something and we can get some information. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all liked the video.
Well, this guy here kills one on camera. I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually got a black wolf. It's not a black wolf from down in Florida, though. This is probably a black wolf that's got dog DNA in it or whatever. And I just watched this thing all the way through, and at the end of it, the guy shoots it and kills it. I was like so upset in that video that I was like screaming about it, like screaming at my screen, telling the guy not to kill it, but he didn't listen. He did not listen. Well, that was the Florida black wolves. Yeah, well, thank you all for joining us, Apostate Sisters. It was good to see you in here. You have a thing starting on your channel. Somebody want to drop a link? Because I'm wrapping up here. And we could like just, can I make it so it forwards it over there? Let me see. Try to figure this out. Just a sec. Let's see. Can make the end screen so it has your link. Oh, I can't do it while I'm still live. Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the. Well, I don't have any other content. Like I was expecting this wolf thing to take longer, but I cut that guy out this morning because he shot it. So it was going to be longer, Maya. I did have about 15, 20 more minutes of coverage on the black wolves, but I didn't want to talk about the guy killing one. But yeah. How do I do it? So I'm in my YouTube channel. And I'm on the video details. 12:30. I'm going back to bed. And I have the link now. Customization, maybe? Redirect, add. There we go. All right. Is that going to do it? I clicked on it. It's grayed out though, so it's like not letting me. Let me see. Y'all get to watch me struggle. I'm on the struggle bus. This morning. Here y'all are, apostate sisters.
All day to let that just.
Physical cycle of discipline. Redirect privileges needed. Ask apostate sister to add you to their live stream redirect list in communities. They don't got their set up for that, for the redirect. Boo! But we have the link. So yeah, pop on over. Sure. All right. And please remember to be kind and take care and all that good stuff. And I will see you next time.
Oh, well, looky here. Another bird for me to tear to shreds. Ha, I love these stupid things. Well, let's go get him. You know, it's weird. I keep getting closer, but he's not getting any smaller. Huh, must be an optical illusion. What the hell is that on his face? An axe? Well, no, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking over there. What is that, a squirrel? Yeah, over there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, buddy, I wasn't looking at you. Yeah. Go ahead there, eat up. Oh, yeah. No, don't worry. Oh, no, don't mind me. I'm sitting here just shitting on myself.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link